All right. Hello, hello, hello. Sorry about that. It's another one of those mornings. Sick kids. Everybody's running all over the place. It's like, oh, it's one of those days. Just one of those days. Um, I'm trying to get Kip situated here. Um, what are you doing? What you doing? What you doing? Yeah, he's got his little coffee voice. So let me know if the sound is okay. It looks like it is. Buddy, what are you doing? You got stuff all over the place already. Everywhere. Oh God, what do you got here? Mr. Kipster. All right. Let's see here. No, we're not going to start that. Stop. All right. So, starting in the overnight, not necessarily anything earth-shattering, surprising right now. You know, looking at what's it called? Sounds good. Thank you, Marina. Knowing that we have, right? Knowing that we have, what's it called? The FOMC today. That's obviously going to, put a little bit of a kink in the market, right? I think overall, I don't think we're going to get any major surprises today. Just because, again, it's been telegraphed so much at this point. I think the biggest thing that we're looking for today is the language about what happens next. 0.5 is pretty much guaranteed. I'd be shocked. I mean, it's definitely not going to be 0.75. And I'd be really surprised if they tried to, tone it back down and even go to, a 0.25. I think people would be so just blown away with that. Like I said, I don't think there's going to be any surprises today. So, with that said, I think the biggest thing we're going to look at is the questions we get at 2:30 today in the press conference, and just see kind of what it looks like. What? There's nothing over there to grab. This? Here. I purposely removed everything so you had nothing to grab onto. You want the mail? Here, you can have this. This? Buddy, there's nothing over here that you can have. This? You want the sandpaper? You can have sandpaper. All right. No, to get down. I'm done. Go. Get on the floor. You've gotten 27 options here. Here, play with the toys here. So that's going to be the biggie. I don't think we're going to have lots of major movement until we get that statement today. Everybody's going to be stopping, preparing, looking. And that's what we've seen in the last 24 hours. I mean, Eurodollar, 2 pips, right? We had a bit of a retracement, and then it kind of pulled back up again, kind of looking more like it wants to be a dollar strength type move today. And again, I do think if they put in 50 and then say we're doing another 50, or, I think if they do 50-50, I think that's going to be considered a strong dollar move. I think a lot of people think they're going to do 50 and pause. Even though many of the experts are like, nah, they're probably going to raise 2 more times, or maybe potentially 3 more times, and then pause and hold it. And people are like, well, when will they start to pull rates back again? And I said, maybe by the end of next year, but it really depends on other, unforeseen factors out there. But, 2, 0, 23, 24, 25, 21, 52 is okay. And again, part of the pound weakness that we're seeing right now is because it came in lower than expected. Now, I kind of expected it to be a little bit of a miss. Not much. I mean, it wasn't a big change, but I didn't, again, this is a little bit more than what I expected. So right now we are seeing a little bit of pound weakness. I kind of like this pullback because, as I said, they are raising interest rates as well. We should see that come in, and basically just the statements of what it's going to look like, and I think will help drive this one, to continued success. So again, 2:00 today, and then 4:45. If you do like trading currencies of other markets, again, New Zealand on a quarterly basis, this could be a decent one to trade as well. You trade this one with actually 2 different options. You have NZD USD or NZD JPY. Actually, the JPY one probably wouldn't be horrible today, but a lot of it's going to depend on what happens with FOMC, with the yen being a proxy. Aussie tonight, I think this is a great opportunity for us to play reversals, especially because if we get strong dollar, which right now all the charts are looking like we are going to get strong dollar. If we get strong dollar, that gives us the ability tonight at 7:30 to play reversal with this, seeing good unemployment change and the unemployment rate maybe holding or even going down a little bit. We could see the opposite. We could see, a weakness in here depending on, what the U.S. Tally looks like. But for the most part, again, typically unemployment change and unemployment rate are both decent. They're good releases for Aussie. As far as news in the last 24 hours, you can see Euro pound trades in a sideways manner. Yeah, nothing really crazy there. BOG said it's possible to conducting a review of the year. Nothing in here really that's earth-shattering right now. Like I said, everybody is literally looking at, what the Fed's going to do. Again, talking about it came in below expectations. Remember when this happened in the past, though, it's picked up again. So, that's what we got today. That's going to be the big piece. Now, tomorrow morning, this comes in hot and fast early. We're seeing this come in right away. 3:30 tomorrow morning, you have all the S&B data, right? Swiss. I don't expect too many surprises with them, but it's decent. The press conference at 4 kind of will give us an idea of what happens next. I don't think the Swiss will continue to raise. I think they're, I think this is probably their 50. I think I think it's it for them. I think they're going to be done after this. So. Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, at 3 o'clock in the morning, I won't be trading this one, unfortunately. But I do think after that goes in, if it is considered a strong Swiss move, I think it does turn and retrace right away. It comes back down for the U.S.-based session. So nothing too big there. And then at 7 o'clock, right before we get in, we have the U.K., right? UK comes in with their 50-point raise, and again, 3.5. Not as high as the U.S. So again, it takes kind of the pound yen out of the carry trade position, but still respectable. Again, an area where you want to plant money more so than euro. 8:15, we have the European group coming in again right before we get on, bringing it up to 2.25. Many talks that's going to be it here. But you know how to open this up. Why am I opening your drink? A lot of people are, a lot of the statements we've seen and the headlines we've seen said that, that they basically have one more raise in them. This could be it. 2.5 could be the peak for the euro, which puts them in a very interesting situation with other countries up at 4, 4.5, 3.5, and then at 2.5 puts them kind of at a disadvantage on the currency front in a lot of different ways. And then at 8:30, right before we get in, we have core retail sales. Again, extremely important. Retail sales is what's been driving inflationary numbers. Basically, the consumer spending as well as the labor market are the two areas that have been really kind of, at this point, that's kind of where we've seen the resiliency in the U.S. economy right now. Retail is expected to be lower. Empire State Manufacturing turning back negative is what the expectation is. And on a month-over-month basis in November, they are showing that retail sales is going down. Here's the thing. If that number is not negative, that's going to be seen as extremely positive, and every reason why that inflation has not stopped yet. Remember, one data point for a month doesn't mean that it's been fixed. It just means that maybe that was an off month for any particular reason. So again, just because inflation slowed this month doesn't mean the December number can't go higher again. Because we did get some good manufacturing data out last month. So yeah, there's a lot, and then needs to be press conference. So all this is literally all these red things, all these 3 different nations raising interest rates. There's a lot of stuff going on in the next 24 hours from now till we talk again. So again, a lot of news releases, and again, a lot of interest rates raising. So a lot of news-based trades. Going over to the charts, you can see VIX more or less holding firm. Kind of surprised the VIX hasn't started to creep up a little bit. I think because this one has been so telegraphed as far as kind of where we are, what's going to happen today. I really don't think any news movement comes in from today because they raise interest rates. I think any of the news moves comes in today because they tell us what happens next, right? We're going to raise 0.5 again. We're going to raise 0.25, right? We're not going to raise it all. We're going to pause, or all the potential scenarios. Now, if they say that they're going to pause after this one and kind of see how it goes, yeah, I think the dollar gets nuked. I think the indices go wild. Champagne falls from the heavens. It's going to be nuts. I really don't see how they could pause. Everybody's warned against pausing. They've made comments about how it's dangerous if they pause too early. I just don't see how that's the answer, right? But the market will absolutely just go insane if that happens. So, we'll see. Stranger things have happened, so I don't want to say that it can't happen. I mean, who knows with this Fed? It could, right? It could, but for the most part, I think all signs right now and all technicals are basically saying that this is a bear market rally is what we're seeing, right? So, yeah. Dollar. Dollar is, again, we took a big push. It kind of pulled back again to that 23 and kind of held and kind of pushed back and forth again. Now that the U.S. session is open, again, we're starting to see some dollar weakness continue to creep back in. And again, we're seeing this on all the currencies. Typically at this time, we see dollar strength coming in as the U.S. trader rolls on board. We're not quite seeing that today. So, seeing all this weakness well ahead of time, typically if the market factors it in this early, it kind of makes you think that, hey, listen, we could potentially get news today that is dollar strength because, again, the pre-market move is already down. And the worst thing you could do is sell after a large down in price. And we've kind of had the big parabolic move yesterday. We had the pullback, and again, the 23 ran into some problems there. It's kind of an interesting setup right now. And like I said, if we continue to deteriorate down to 2 o'clock, it's like, this is really looking more like it's a long opportunity. So, yeah, kind of interesting, right? Kind of interesting how it's starting to set up so far. So, that's what we're seeing. Indices, obviously, with the dollar down in a week, you're seeing all the indices are up just a little bit. I mean, the Russell is the outlier. Again, showing us that kind of dollar weakness in there. And the question is this the pre-planning for earlier today? I mean, like I said, if you want to short, you want to get the price as expensive as possible, right? Because when you short it, someone else is buying it from you for a very, very high price, and then you have to pay it back, and you want to pay it back at a cheap price after it's tanked. So, kind of interesting that it's already starting to line up that way. And as I said, I really don't think that the Fed's going to be like, yeah, we're doing 50 and that's it. We're going to just wait, let it go, Because again, it's nice that it undershot at the 7.1 or whatever it was, but 7.1 is still almost 4 times above over 3 times, not quite 4, but over 3 times what the yearly mandate is. And a mandate means that's, you failed unless it's there. So, kind of surprising. I really thought this was going to be a dollar short base day, but right now it's kind of looking like it's the other direction, that it wants to be a dollar long base day, right? That's not what we expected to see. So with that, let's go over into the first currency pair. Commodities, you see, again, we had such a big day in natural gas yesterday. It is pulling back. Oil, again, is up. And again, seeing oil continuing to rise. I really don't want it to be in the 90 and 100. I made that statement that I think it ends between 90 and 100. Being back at 76, again, we got 2 weeks. I mean, yes, can it raise that far? Sure, it can. I really hope that it doesn't. But at this point, I think, 80 may be the stretch that we're looking for. And again, we're not even at the super. This is the last week of real trading. Next week gets super low. We get 1 or 2 headlines. We could seriously spike this. In regards to oil, and again, I'll cover this more in depth when we get to that section. Yesterday, it was reported, I saw it on kind of my news feed, that I think Russia is now designated 90% of their supply because of price caps. 90% of their supply is actually going to Asia, not overseas anymore. They're keeping it closer. And again, wouldn't be surprised if they're, again, giving them somewhat of a discount to take 90% of their, their output. And again, that's what I kind of assumed happened. It's kind of like, hey, you don't want our gas? You're going to only pay this much for it? Okay, we'll send it to people that are willing to pay it at a discount for what the market rate is, and then you guys can fight over the really expensive gas. Again, that's capitalism. You don't want to buy my product for this price, and somebody else is willing to pay it for higher. I'm going with the highest bidder. And it looks like that's what's starting to happen, right? So, yeah, fun. All right, so Aussie dollar. So Aussie, you can see we got a pretty decent pullback. Again, it kind of sliced through the 23 like it didn't exist. We did put some new lows in, some new lower highs in. It didn't retrace all the way back down to the 50 at 67.90. Right now, there's some areas we do want to mark off. And again, decent top here. And again, we said yesterday, this is where we were yesterday. Don't know where the top is, but once we get that red, green, red, there's your red, there's your green, there's your red close below, and there's a deterioration back to the downside. So again, the confirmation did come in. From where the confirmation came in, it ran about 50 pips. So it wasn't necessarily a horrible base trade. Where it is right now, again, it rallied back up again. And I think this puts us in a very, very interesting spot. As I said, I was really looking forward to kind of having it come back down again and then take another dollar week trade based off of what we heard. the market's done nothing. And again, look at the European market. European market kind of drove it up. We reversed at 530, and now we're starting to grind back higher again. We're putting a lot of dollar weakness in before something like FOMC is coming out. So the question is, and I'm really curious of this, 50's in. I wonder if the overall market right now feels like they're going to do 50, 25, 25, or do 50, or if they're going to say 50, 25, and then pause, right? I'm wondering if that's what the kind of market is quote, feeling right now. And if we get 50, 50, and then a pause, again, everybody knows a pause is coming in, right? But if we get 50, 50, is the market going to consider that really bullish for the dollar? And right now, that's kind of what we're on a purely technical basis, that's kind of how it's setting up right now. So very interesting spot. So as far as we go, again, we know that news is coming in. It's sitting right here. We can mark these one off. 2 o'clock right there. So right now, we are approaching that level. We have an area right here. Whoops. Kipster, what are you doing? Yeah, you're standing up where you're not supposed to be standing. You know you're not supposed to stand there. Taking advantage of me. The 68.81. Gotta say, I mean, again, I assume that Nadex prices are going to be all over the place today. And at this point, with the volume being lower, I think they've caught on to high volatility times. I mean, maybe there's something cheap in there. I don't know. You have to go check it at the time. It's too early right now to do it. But that 1 o'clock time frame when there's lower volatility because it's lunchtime would be the time to check it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe we got something in there. But right now, to me, this is setting up more for a short, kind of bouncing off that level. I don't know, maybe we reverse from 1030 down. But like I said, it's right now with it being extremely high up here, this is more set up for a short right now going into that FOMC raise. And it's kind of crazy, right? Odd movement today. I thought we were going to get something a little different. But that's where we're looking at. Again, taking a short. I still think this one does come back down. And I would say if there is some major movement on this one today, obviously target right here is going to be extremely important. This is the last time that buyers set in. And again, here's typically what we would use for profit. But you can see there's a lot of testing at the 61.8. So there's 2 different levels down here as far as shorts go. One at 67.84. The other one down here at 67.56. Right? Both of those are extreme targets. If you take this one short, again, make sure you capture your profit before those 2 levels because, again, buyers absolutely going to step in here and buyers are absolutely going to step in at 61.8 for the Aussie. But anyway, again, not a lot of risk on this one. Again, I probably wouldn't. It's 12 pips, so it's tiny. This is not necessarily one that I would trade with futures just because for some reason if there is something insane there, futures is going to gap a lot worse than currencies will. Currencies won't gap. There'll be plenty of volume that'll be able to pick up in that group. So just be a little cautious if you're doing futures. Now, also yen. Also yen, also quite choppy back and forth. We talked about a profit target at 92.22 down here. You can see we were sitting right here yesterday, and all we did was kind of go back, grab that level of basing, push down, found these buyers, went back up, found those sellers. And again, more consolidation than anything else. It's pretty easy. You can draw it here and vice versa. I would guess, I guess it's kind of like that. But really, since this morning, it's been more of kind of one of these things. Late last night, right? We've been kind of consolidating in for a big price movement. Now, I do think there actually will be a lot of movement in this one. The problem with using this for FOMC today is it's a proxy and a proxy. It's a gold proxy and it's a Dow proxy. So my opinion on that is it's typically better just to use gold or, again, I guess you could use the dollar yen. But Aussie dollar, I think, Aussie yen will be a little bit more risky today to be able to trade. Now, tonight, for the Aussie news, absolutely, this is going to be a great one to trade because all the yen data will be wiped out. That'll be like 5-something hours or whatever has passed. So you got plenty of room, right? So this is a great one to trade tonight. Now, we're sitting kind of in the middle, and we talked about 2 levels. One down here at 91.30. We talked about one here, and then we talked about the level up top at the 93.53. We're kind of sitting right in the middle. So ideally, what I would like to see happen is the FOMC drop, the yen goes crazy, the yen or the Aussie goes crazy off of it. We either pop up or we pop down, and again, grind to one of those 2 levels for the news this evening. I think that's the best way to play this one. If we can get that big spike, I think both these are great trades as far as Australian data goes tonight. All right, and again, that data comes in. I think it's 7. Is it 7:30? Yeah, 7:30. So. right there. Oh, that's Thursday. Whoops. I was like, wait, what's wrong with that one? It's actually there. Yeah, it's balance of trade. So that's what we're looking at right now. So we need a little bit of help, right? We need a little bit of help from this one, but I think absolutely today, if we're going to get help any day, today's the day that we're going to get some help at the end on that one. Euro dollar. All right, so euro dollar. We also had a pullback in this one, right? We talked about this one getting a decent top in there. We did. We got the red, green, red, came in here, kind of went and just stopped. It just went dun, 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 nothing, came up. It didn't go back out the top, so I mean, you could still potentially be in the same trade. But again, we're running into those same sellers. This is a dollar week-based trade, and we're starting to rally higher before the news. So looking at this, it's kind of the same setup. It's, again, seeing dollar weakness come in before news typically is a sign that, hey, this is going to turn and flip back in the other direction, where it's going to be a dollar strength-based news. Not much else we could say about this one, that we're still there. Ideally, you can shrink this down to, whoops, not there. It's this one. Probably there, right? At this point, if you're still in this one. A little bit lower risk on it. 1 to 3 is only sitting right there. So we're kind of sitting like right here right now. Right? So would I be willing to take this right now? I want it to roll through 12:30. I want it to roll through the rest of the day, and I want to see what it looks like right before news. But this one will be a decent one to trade because it's high volume. You're not going to get as much slippage on there. You're definitely not going to get any gaps unless there's like, yep, 0.75. But I don't think 0.75 is coming in today. As much as I would love the surprise of a 0.75, put it this way. If it is a point, like I said, I don't think there's any chance that this is happening, but this is what's going to happen. If it is a 0.75, it's going to be like all the way down here. The market's going to be like, what the heck? Right? It'll be instantaneous. They'll be like, look, the technicals don't lie. If it rallies all the way up here, it means it's somebody new, right? Mr. Powell told somebody. It'll mean that Mr. Pelosi's got $1 million options position in the, in the euro dollar, right? I don't think it's coming in, but I do think at this point we are going to roll back down again. If you are going to get short, look to take profit down at this 50% level at 105.56, right? That was the takeoff of the move, and it's still kind of holding firm with a 50% retracement. So decent, right? Now, could this move the last little bit here? I mean, this is only 50 pips in the other direction. Can we move 50 pips in the next 4 hours? Heck yeah. I mean, if we see nothing but dollar strength rolling down again, that's kind of what the market needs to say, yeah, roll that dollar strength in before news today so we can, go short the dollar. It's doing the right thing, right? I mean, it should push back down again. So, I mean, if you're not in the trade now, it is a little bit late. But if you are in this trade from that same pullback, it's not a bad area. I guess it would be, sorry, there's the confirmation touch. 1 to 3 is right there. So, not horrible. Your pound. Look at this. We talked about a level there at the 50 being a potential reversal. And yesterday we were sitting right here from that level. Again, 1, 2, 3. Kind of went in there, and it's still sideways. It's down 0.05. So again, flat. And again, you're starting to see it start to roll back in. I would like this one to come all the way down. I still think this one is a decent short. Again, been quite choppy sideways, so again, a little bit harder of a position to be holding for 2 days because of the amount of chop that has come in. Yeah, I think with all the U.S. news today, I don't think this one really kicks in until tomorrow. I don't think we have to wait. But tonight, and again, this is why. Right? Both of these right here. Right? So definitely something that's 24 hours, but we got to get through all the U.S. stuff first. Once we get through the U.S. stuff and the Aussie stuff, then people start looking at this one. But right now, again, I still like this one to the short side. You can see it actually did put a little bit of a newer high in. But look, we got 1, 2, and 3. So we should be okay to get all the way up if we can push. But yeah, not a great setup on them. Euro yen. So euro yen, you can see we did retrace a little bit. I wonder if it went to a 23. Let's see. Nah, it went past. You can see it sliced right through the 23 like it was nothing. I'm still good with this one. Actually, I'm going to throw an alert. The problem with this one is it's probably going to get screwed up by FOMC. There you go. So yesterday we talked about breaking through 143. 12 going down to 142.51. Little 60 pipper. I like it. I like that to put a new little kind of top in here, and again, decent top. Actually, if you look, there's the green top. There's your confirmation. There's a touch at 530. So, yeah, these buyers should be gone at this point. If we just drive a little bit farther, lower, 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 should be gone. Next area is going to be down here, and we're looking for this to come down. We're looking for a base here, and then we're looking for a push to the downside. So, not much else. Same setup as yesterday. And actually, the way that this is working, this one is set for yen strength. Let's see. Green right now. 34. See, this one has a weird potential to it, too. So here's a risk in this one that I think we need to bring up. So again, obviously, proxy, the yen, we got it. Indices are all up now. If by some chance they say we're 50 and now we're going to pause, we're going to hold, that should be a huge boom, right? That should bring some strength back into the yen. That drives this one straight down. But right now, it is moving in that direction. Again, kind of leading us to believe the same exact thing that we were thinking before, that they're going to talk about too strong. Indices are already up, that we're going to see the rate, and they're not going to pause, right? Which would tank the indices, right? Which would give us some yen weakness probably today. Which would, again, cause a bounce on this one. Interesting scenario. Yeah, I think I'd like this one to come down. I think we're still holding firm on this one. Keep that same one on there. I got an alert on it, but I feel like it's 100. That one could definitely get blown up. I'm going to see where we are. Like I said, this could potentially come down. It could potentially come to here and then pop. Be like something like that. Could. That's definitely a possible scenario if we get a strong. We'll see. Maybe we can rally back up and take that off. Okay. All right. Pound dollar. So there's the pound dollar trade, right? We talked about this one finding a new level, getting a pullback. Now this one did give us the base in the pullback. It didn't touch the level of risk up top. It did come back down, and you can see, not surprisingly, it did come back down right to that 1 to 3-ish area, and then just kind of chopped through sideways and kind of went up. Now, the euro dollar was a little bit more clean. It was definitely sitting on the high side. This one is it's kind of in the middle of the range of the big spike. So looking at these two, right now this has a little bit more consolidation inside of it. It's a 0.15. I would say this one is really more just channeling, not necessarily driving like the euro is. Like the euro, absolutely to the high side, right? Absolutely on the high end of the curve. This one, kind of sitting in the middle, right? Yeah, you see, there's the 50% mark. We're in that middle kind of, the middle of this one is kind of, there's your no man's land right there, right? And we're just flirting back and forth in no man's land. So, for news today, I like the euro dollar better. Aussie dollar, euro dollar, both of them I think have better positions today than this one. Now, we are pushing up. There is a level sitting there, obviously. So we are pulling back in, but we got to kind of make it through the 10:30 reversal time. But this is actually probably a pretty decent reversal area right there and there. So pull that off. See the way this is too? Although the top side is better, this isn't a horrible area to take this one short to tag that 123.09. All right. That 123.09 is not a bad spot. That's not a horrible area. I like to see where we are later for this one. And again, we know that it's coming in right here. Right. Pound yen. So again, pound yen did not have the same reversal. We continued to get this strength coming in. And again, we're seeing the indices up. We're seeing obviously the yen play into this one. So again, we drove through. Again, it kind of found the bottom here, chopped, and then really kind of just stabilized itself between here's the 50 and the 61.8. It used these two levels and it finally broke through the 1, 2, 3, the 4 touched, kind of came through. The problem that I had with this one is, again, 1, 2, 3. We knew that was breaking on 4. Right now, and again, we'll take it off because it hit the 78. We got a lot down here. I was hoping that this was closer to something. I think right now we should be in. I think for today, I think pound yen is not going to be the one to play today. The euro yen I'm okay with. I don't like the pound yen one as much. But for tomorrow, where we have the pound data coming in right here, the interest rate, there's a level here. And again, it really kind of the level started back there. But if we kind of move this a little bit farther forward, we probably will get somewhat of a spike. I'm wondering if we're going to see the yen strength come in today, right? We'll see yen strength maybe come in. If we can all of a sudden spike down to this level, that gives us an ability. It could be a target or an entry for raising the interest rates tomorrow. Obviously, right now it's past, but just a little bit more of a move from the yen. Then we have the ability to kind of get into this one. So right now it's not quite there yet. And again, when I say bringing it down to here, that's right in the middle. This is kind of what I'm looking at. You see the hits of this area here? Hit, hit, hit. Drag that down. Now all of a sudden this becomes a 50% on a decent base. So that's kind of why, if you're wondering why I drew that right there, it's this. And again, 1, 2, 3 hits. So can it hit again? Sure. That's where the 50 touches that level. So it's kind of like forward thinking on that one. But I like that to continue. I think this we need some help on this one. 68. Yeah, if we rally up, we could get a 68, 78 pip mover. So yeah, again, I think pound yen today, the way to play this one is to look at it after FMC, look at it 5, 6 o'clock at the end of the day, and then see how it kind of adjusts for the overnight. What? What are you doing? Do you need help? Are you stuck? Come here. Are you stuck? Come here. I'll help you. Yeah, you climb well. You just don't get down well. There we go. All right. So that's the pound yen. Looking at dollar CAD. All right. So dollar CAD, we did see a push down again, and we knew that we had. Again, here's that Harry Potter we talked about. Made it to about 2/3, and again, it turned where it should have. It put this bottom in yesterday at 10:30. You know that there's going to be buyers stepping in right here, and that's exactly where buyers stepped in, right? But again, nice little bump on that one. What did I say? 135.10. We missed it by a little bit. Missed it by 7 pips. All right. Let's pull this. I don't need this alert. Let's pull that guy off. All right. What was up? 1.15. So again, almost the same exact technical story. There's really the European influence time, 3 o'clock window, straight up before the U.S. session. And now we're in the U.S. session. We're still continuing to see dollar strength, right? But we're also seeing oil strength, right? We're also seeing oil strength. Interesting. We're also seeing the same type of pre-dollar weakness move here too, right? Again, Europeans setting it straight up before news. Interesting. Now, as far as taking this one short, I don't really, again, I think this is going to be the most difficult to play. There is a level sitting right there. Again, pretty easy to see right there. It does bisect the 50. Again, if that's where we push up into that level, I feel that could, right here, I mean, Could that be a news-based trade? I mean, that's kind of what they look like. It's 11 pips. 11 pips risk, right? Dollar strength into a news event, even though they're going to raise interest rates, right? And that's a dollar. It's a dollar week kind of move there. This one is a little bit different. Like I said, we're getting dollar strength into oil strength. Very interesting. But yeah, there could be a nice little position right here. If we're up here, if we're able to drive that far forward, 1 to 3 is only right there. It's not that big, right? Talking about 12 for 38. And if it is in there, it should spike beyond that. Again, we'll see. We'll see what this current candle does. So, all right. Let's see what we got for dollar Swiss. All right, so dollar Swiss. There we go. Right, level came in. It got triggered at 12, right at noon. Right, came back up, pulled back down into that zone, and all the way back up again. You can see it did go past the top. There's the dark green, light green. Came up and tagged the 92.94. So that trade is done and out. Let's pull this, and funny enough, look at that. We talked about how this was an old level, about that should be an area, and guess what? It violated the level, came back and used that level, and then it deteriorated all the way back down. So a lot of opportunity there. Also seeing, it's interesting. Dollar week. Dollar week since the market is open, but still, a little bit more on the dollar week side. Dollar strong. This one is a dollar week. Right? So dollar cat is like the outlier right now. Actually, this is a dollar strong. This reaction is a dollar week, right? Looking like it's going to pop as well. I don't know. How much is the risk on that one? Do we attempt that one again? I don't know if we attempt this one again, but I do think if we are sitting down and floating around in that level when the news comes out, I do think that this could potentially be a long opportunity as well. Hopefully it breaks through this zone, though. If it breaks through the zone, it kind of clears this one up a little bit. Another dollar week-based trade. But it's continuing to deteriorate. Here he is. And then again, now this guy made it up. We were looking for a red, green, red. I did come back down and touch, right? The red, green, and then really the red confirmation came over here. This one made it to about, I don't know, what? Yeah, 2.15, 2/3 of the way before reversing. Now we do have a kind of a new kind of low here if you're looking for this one to get long. We're kind of coming off of it right now. Again, same level, target, looks down that across. Okay, we're at 78, so let's pull this. $50 supported there. I'm gonna leave that 135. And look at that. Now that we brought it, we got the 50 sitting there. And they're like, oh, the 23. No, the 23 was right here. The 23 didn't do anything. Can we push? Now, again, this one is going to be a little more challenging because it's dollar yen. Can we push all the way down and get an entry there? It's 93 pips. It's a bit much. A little bit much. On this one, I like the retracement yesterday. I don't know if I like the retracement as much today on this one. I guess it's all right. Hmm. I like the one. I like this down here. I like the 133, but I'm questioning. Do I like it better than the Aussie and the Euro? I think the Aussie and the Euro are better. I think there are better trade setups in those two than this one. But if we can rally down again, 90 pips from now till then is a lot for not a lot of reason. Um, but again, seeing dollar weakness roll in here. Again, this is another dollar strength base kind of setup. Ideally, we'd get down to the 133.94, but I don't think that's it's quite a bit of movement. I don't think we can get that much in from now till then. That one's a little challenging. Yeah, it's another one. So I don't know. I'm kind of boggled if you can't tell why we're seeing this, right? But everything else is the same story, right? It's the same story except the dollar CAD. Huh. See, you're seeing it again. Except dollar CAD, right? Which is crazy because of this. Now, with that said, oil is approaching a level up here, 77.35. We talked about that one yesterday as being, an area that we wanted to be cautious about. Again, we are kind of in the belief with everything happening that oil was going to continue to rise. It's crazy. I don't know if it's justified. I mean, people are saying that we're at the top, inflation's out of control. Nothing major right now out there besides the Putin, but I don't think that really changes our oil situation much. But I will say, nice little pop area here. It is a little bit higher than the 50, but before the 61.8. Probably can be shrunk a little bit. Looks like 77.50 if we take just the confirmation on there. There's your 1 to 3. So there you go. We'll set that as an alert. Okay. 77.50 is what we're looking for as a rollover for CL. Natural gas. We missed it by just a little bit. There's your 1030. It reversed on us at 1030 yesterday. We were looking for 719.5, and yeah, it made it to 710. So 19 cents or 9 cents. Missed that one by. And it rolled back down again. We're back down to the gap area. So, this is a standard play. Looking at a level here, is there room for Harry Potter? And it's a little bit close. Right? It's close. Right? This is what you'd be looking at. 1 to 3 is right there. And you can see that it is just a little bit deep. Right? Just a little bit deep. So, but I'm good with this one. Like I said, I'm totally cool with natural gas coming back down again. 650 is a great little target down there. Heck, if we could make it down to $6, if we could break the $6 mark, that would be awesome. I am definitely not I think gas can go higher, and I think it will go higher based off of political reasons. I'm okay with the gas part of it. The natural gas thing jacks me up when the normal price of natural gas was like 250 to 3. The fact that it was up at 10 for such a long period of time, like we were touching 9s and 10s, it's so far overboard. It's just it's absolutely insane. So, there. All right, so gold. Here's what we got with gold. All right, so with gold, I think the big thing that we're looking for gold right now is just the fact that hold on one sec. Sorry, Reese is okay, sorry. We're taking Reese to the doctor today. He's still I sent him to school, so I'm going to be the bad parent today. He was more or less okay, but he's still off, and he's been off since Friday of last week. Like sick to some extent. Like I loaded him up with cough drops and Dayquil, so he's roughing it. He's part of the real world today. But mom was like, "Nah, I think we should take him." I'm like, "All right, great, take him." So he's going to the doctor today. Just messaging about that. Gold. Also seeing gold rise up today. And again, this is one of those ones too. Again, we're trying to crush inflation, and the question is, if we pull back on the dollar, does that mean we're done? Is that Happy days again for gold. But again, seeing gold from really kind of 7:30, 8 o'clock start to rally higher. There is some selling in there. We were really kind of shoot for the 1800. We wanted it to come down and wanted them to basically pause. But right now, it kind of looks similar. Gold is rallying as well. We got the dollar weak going in, right? Dollar weakness in there, looking like it's going to be a dollar strength based news release, and gold rallying before the news is kind of the same stance. I mean, maybe we're completely off today. I'm going to guess gold's flat at 0.02 or 0.01. But typically, when you see all this movement beforehand, it's because the market's positioning itself to reverse. So, yeah, kind of the same story. Now, as far as pullbacks go, you can see that this one is kind of like hovering around a 50% mark. It will go a little bit higher. Again, I still think this one comes back down and tags these levels. I think profit targets on this one are 1790, followed by a second target of 1780. Right? I think those are the two targets today that we are kind of looking to get down to. Silver, kind of the same thing. It dropped almost all the way back again. We missed the target by a little bit and then started to stabilize itself. It made another push this morning, and now it's kind of stalling here at that 9:30, 10 o'clock window. Now, it didn't make it back up to the 24, which I thought was going to be pretty important today. But I think as far as downward-wise goes, I think if it is very strong U.S. data that we're crushing inflation, it's still way too high at 7. While data's been great, our job is not done yet. We need to continue to raise. That could make us have a target at $23 today. We absolutely can run that 78 cents if we need to. I mean, you can see one spike here. There's a spike, not even on news, not even big news. You can see we're well within range of hitting 23 today. So, again, I still think they're going to say 50-50. We're still going to, we need to push it past. It's still too high. And again, although CPI is a big data figure, the employment, the employment market is still a driving factor. It's still not slow in the way that they thought. And until that changes, the recipe is still for inflation. So again, I think that continues to roll down. As far as VIX is holding firm, let's see what we got indices wise at the open today. 9:30, yeah. So basically, we're hovering. We drew on this line yesterday. You can see there was the full retracement I told you guys yesterday. Don't expect. We'd be totally not surprised if we close in the red, or we're in the red. Considering we started the news yesterday here, we are obviously below. The market opened at 9:30. There. So what did the market do? It was down. Right. Even though we had that great news, full parabolic retracement move all the way back down. We're at the same level. Now, as far as the open goes, you can see that there obviously was some basing over down here. You could have traded this one in the open today. And again, we did pull up, and then from 9 to 9:15 candles pushed it right back down into that same level of basing. Actually, there's the zone. There's your touch. Let's see if we get a long position. Now, the one problem with this one, and again, there's a lot of consolidation on this one, and I think that's the important thing to talk about and mention. 1 to 3 is only right there. So again, well within range. We knew we had a bottom put in, but we knew we also had a little top. So one of the reasons why people may have been hesitant to take this one at the open, and again, the kind of 8:30 U.S. futures kind of open time frame was up, and then the pullback was down into a zone from 9 to 9:30, that kind of pre-positioning. Problem is, we didn't really necessarily have a 1 to 3 range on this one. So you kind of got a top right there, kind of deep. So, did I expect some bouncing at the open today? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we kind of pull back again as people are kind of, in anticipation for the interest rate rise. Depending on how how aggressive you wanted to be, this one didn't have very, very much risk. You could have absolutely gone long this one at the open. So, for what it's worth, again, that's what it would have looked like. Again, you knew that you had some confirmations coming in here. So it was a decent level. And again, those were two front runs, so you had to kind of respect them. As far as kind of what it looks like, you can see it went through the 23 with no problems. There is a little small level here. There's a wick over wick right there, and we're kind of close to hitting that. I'm wondering if we're going to kind of turn up and bounce off of that. Like, it'll come here, right? I'm wondering if we kind of see this, and it kind of sits flat for, FOMC. And then it goes absolutely insane, right? Yeah. I think this is due to retrace. Like I said, I think we have another candle like this today. It's going to be up or it's going to be down, right? Markets are going to be like, this is awesome, and we just blow it out, or it's going to be like, holy crap, we never expected that, and it just tanks. So, yeah, there's your opening print. As far as setting this one up for news, again, we got to get through the 10:30 reversal time. We got to get through lunch, see where it positions itself right beforehand if you wanted to play this one for FOMC. But I'll tell you right now, be prepared for a big move in one of the two. It's going in one of the two directions. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's going. It's going to move. As I said, the markets are either going to love it or they're going to be like, holy crap, that's horrible. So, kind of where we're at. NQ, let's see if there was any type of setup. Yeah, there's a setup for NQ as well. The 9 o'clock was up. The 9:15 candle was down, back in the same zone. There you go. You can see it did not get stopped out. And again, kind of the same thing. We had touched it here, so it was 2 touches. This is a little bit far on the top side. There's your 1 to 3. Okay, so same setup. And again, we knew we had, again, actually this one had really kind of 1, 2, and 3. So this is not as concerning. This is a little bit, but it's the very, very top. Okay. This looks like it's more in the middle. Let's see. Yep. So again, this one also has a roll point. Again, being right at the 50. 12,093.75. Now, here's an interesting. Let's look at this. How's that for a scenario? Drop, pullback, drop, right? Impulse, correction, impulse. 50% retracement level at the area facing. And news all at the same time. And if they say, hey, we're doing a 50-50, guys, I don't know why you think we're being weak suddenly, right? That's a big shock for the market to the downside because, again, that strong dollar, weak indices. And again, NQ tends to get nuked on those pretty quickly. Yeah, so if we grind up, I think 12,093 could be a very interesting news-based trade there. Yep, this one had the same thing, the 9:15 pullback candle. All right, there you go. This one has a level, but it's not an area I'm watching out for. But there's the potential for a reversal right here. So, oops. Again, this looks exactly the same. 1 to 3 is right there. Right. All right. Let's see. Yeah, nothing. And this one's got a little thing at 61, but we're not going all the way there. We'll leave that there, but we're not going all the way up there. It's all right. Oof, this one didn't do it. Look at nice little gap there. I'd love to tell you that we are 4 for 4, but we're not. We're 3 for 4. That's a no entry. It didn't touch. Didn't touch. It did go up, right? Did go up, but it's a no touch. And also, this it's 10:30 in a level of sellers. So, yeah. So, yeah. So, like I said, I think any of these are pretty big. Oh, contract switch. That's why. I was like, oh, look, there's a gap. It's contract switch. Yeah, I'll tell you right now. Right now, it looks like we're going to get some type of an explosion in the dollar. And again, this is a lot of dollar weakness before that news coming out. Everybody's preparing, like the whole market's preparing for it. Not to say that it can't happen again, just as a caveat here. Not to say that it can't happen, that the market can be really, really negative all morning. And then the news still come in negative, and it does go negative. But the problem is with the market being completely negative, it's not like people weren't trading during this time frame. All this negativity, you got to find someone to take the opposite side of your trade. And that's why we talk about understanding who you're trading against. It's very uncharacteristic that you can be weak all day and then you get more weakness thrown back on, because who the heck you trading with at that point, right? Because everybody's been getting weaker, everybody's been getting strong. So right now, what we typically see when we see this much weakness, and again, the dollar CAD is the one that's really throwing me off, because it's like, that one should be like really collapsing, because oil is up, dollar weakness is everywhere, but yet dollar CAD is rising up. So kind of a weird situation where every other dollar-based pair, it's completely different. So, and again, I don't know. Very, very strange setup. But again, I think the way to look at this one is about 1:30 when the East Coast comes back from lunch. Look to see where the markets are starting to drive pre-news. Maybe we have a complete reversal so we can see this continuation. There's obviously going to be a lot of volatility. Options are expensive, or will be expensive today. I'm assuming Nadex prices are going to be absolutely insane. Maybe I'll log on just to see how crazy they are. But I'm assuming that they're going to be absolutely nuts. Just use caution today. Again, option products will have more volatility, but there are ways to play it. But I would expect to see some type of a spike. My read on it is they're right now, again, if they say 50-50, I think people look at that as monstrous dollar strength, even though that's kind of what the Fed has told us was already going to happen. And I think the markets will tank because of it. The dollar will rally and all the pairs will reverse like we've seen. I feel like the market's opinion is that it's going to be 50 and then they're going to announce 25-25 and then a pause. I feel like that's what the market is looking at. I'd be shocked if they said 50-25. I think that would be extremely weak. And if that's the case, I think the market's just the indices take off and gold takes off. Those are kind of the different scenarios right now that I'm looking at. But right now, purely based off of technicals, we're seeing a lot of dollar weakness roll in the U.S.-based session on a day that we're supposed to be raising interest rates up to 4.5, which is a decent amount, right? 4.5 is great. Look at oil. Oil inventory just came in and they missed by a little bit, guys. Huge surplus. So maybe that's why we saw oil rising. Let's see what oil's doing because of it now. Yeah, it's pulling back. Damn. We're so close. So close. Huge miss. Big miss. Big miss. Big miss. But look, they started to move a little ahead of time. Damn, we're so close. I just wanted to pop up to there. Man. Oh, they did. They did kind of stabilize at 20. Yeah, there's your hold. So, yeah, there was a short there. So, yeah. All right, like I said, I'm actually surprised we got this much oil movement. Yeah, it was a huge miss, but all eyes are going to be on that raising the interest rate. That's probably why we saw the oil strength coming in was pre-news move. I'm curious to see now if we'll start to see movement here. Oops. Still see dollar strength there. But we should see a little bit more. So CAD should weaken a little bit from this. So we'll see how it turns out. All right, let's go do the drawing. Kip's in the other room banging on the door, so I need to go grab him. He went there himself. I didn't put him in the other room. You guys heard he was here. All right. Now, I'm not even going to say any names. We're not going to say it, but Neuro, right? You weren't here yesterday. If you don't play the game, you can't win. That's all I'm saying. Just say it. Closing it down. Winner of today's drawing is... Wow. She didn't win yesterday. But that's 2 days in a row for the girls. 2 days in a row for the girls. He not only closed my door, he went into the room that he sleeps in and shut the door in that room too. And now he's banging the door going, I feel like this is an important life lesson, right? If you shut the door and you're not tall enough to open the door, you learn a lesson from that. So, all right, guys, I'm going to go get them. Like I said, today should be very, very interesting. We'll see where prices move in the next 2 hours or hour and a half. I think what happens now in the next 30 minutes is extremely important. But then again, between 1:15 and 1:45, also going to be extremely important to see where it goes and where we take advantage of the markets today. We'll see if we get to continue weakness or not. All right, with that said, I'm out of here. Good luck today for FOMC and the rate raise. Again, as I said, in the next 24 hours, there's 3 different countries raising interest rates projected right now at 1.5% total, right? 50, 50, 50 across the board. So, again, a lot of news. And again, don't forget Australia tonight. Australia tonight should be a decent news-based trade setup as well. But right now, the markets are preparing 17, 15, 7, 3, 3, 26, 21. And the biggest mover on the board is minus 38. So the markets are primed and ready. The spring is coiled. Get out there and make some good trades. I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, and I'll see you then. Take care.